got your bracelet.
Oh, yay!
So it's just easier for me that so I don't drop anything.
That makes sense.
Yeah, the last four tables.
Leo, I'm Barbara Davy, and I know you from conference time.
Yes.
Good church.
Yes.
At Lakeside. I saw your name on it. Oh, Effort, yes. That's right.
Were you someone before that? I'm thinking you're the, I'm thinking you're the woman from Zion that has the house up there.
I am from Zion. Well, originally from Zion. Everett.
Yeah.
Who are you telling now about town that live, you know, I know it from Zion.
From Zion, yeah.
Which is now a little nursery school.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Where are you at? In Toledo?
St. Paul's. Downtown.
Yeah. Oh, come on, he is.
Yes, he is. His firstborn is due in 2 weeks. When he left to go to Bethesda in 1999, Gus turned 4.
Can't you remember when people said that about you? I could remember when you were just now happened. Yeah, Pete, big girl.
And they were
Yeah.
divorced. After 22 years of circuit riding, bouncing around, she's just like, I don't want to fight. Yeah, it's been divorced since 2016. Yeah, no kid. Had a daughter. He's now 22. So he never saw her.
No, but I just remember your song. I didn't tell that Marilyn.
Enjoy the time. Yeah, work the sound booth in the back. On the right side up front.
And they're done. Now you're where else have you been?
Columbus bounce between Columbus and Dayton. So my time has been super fun.
Well, you're in. What's your house, huh?
Coach.
Dave.
I mean, I don't really know that's going. She's going to be the executive at once. So,
They got you. So you have a house somewhere?
Apartment in Parsonage.
So are you downtown apartment?
No, I am actually south of Walmart. So,
And what's the street?
Boulevard.
Sure. South Toledo.
So about
You had what? People flew around you, yeah.
Nope. 14 days in the hospital, 12 days in the ICU. I was supposed to start January 1, 2023. I didn't start until April 1st.
You started. So.
Palm Sunday.
April Fool, I'm here.
Palm Sunday, my first Sunday there. So I've been there 16 months. 12 days in the ICU.
Yeah, you got beats going on all the time.
She's about to got discharged Christmas Sunday.
What is it?
Christmas Day at Parsonage.
You have been on a little journey. At least you didn't go down.
I see it as a spiral. Yeah, don't. Yeah.
Remember him. And flew in all their Zion people that went to Lori Hallman. I know the way you
Okay, good enough. Focus.
No, it just totally slipped my mind how to first. I did think of it. How'd you know? That's how you do it.
All right.
know. Yes. And I worked a lot with the former pastor, yes sir, with the lunch, bag lunch program that they did during COVID. And of course was there every week doing lunches. And so, and I worked with, oh my gosh, now her name escapes me. Ganda, yeah, Ganda. Thank you. Yes, and every time I come up with stuff for her, that I think is going to benefit the ministry there, hey Ganda, guess what I got? She is wonderful. Love working with her. It's all good work. It's just all good work. Yeah, you're relatively because you Yeah, mountain, not yeah, I know. I actually just got a place in Northport. Aggie Valley, right 2 miles from the Patriot Parkway, about 15 miles from Paris. Yeah,
I'm just saying we can't like she's a girl and he's a guy.
getting ready to start some renovations and been renting out one for people.
He never even
Before that, the place was beautiful.
no, I don't think he's on the set.
Okay. How, yes, is there a lot of
Matt.
Well, the lower level is only trade.
okay.
So we want to, the upper level is
So you're gonna take the call. Oh, it's all finished already. Oh, okay. But it's not,
not done. It's a straight out gravel floor.
okay.
Yeah, everything is done.
So they get to do it how they want it.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's exactly what you very small, like space,
So you have your own entrance and your own Jeez, that's big adventure.
The upper level is really limited.
Oh, okay.
No,
So you can sit there while you're
yeah, the day we close,
So how far are you from
for me going to I have a very good friend who lives in when we go to all the miners in the Myrtle Beach area, we kind of some nice area where there's not a
Yeah, then you want to stay south. Yeah,
Right.
Hello, Mr. Winooski.
You did a great job.
Oh, thank you.
Really, I felt for you. You did so much to it, really. So I just want to encourage you.
Thanks.
I'm gonna give a little 10-minute warning, now probably 9-minute.
Okay, great.
Our program will be starting in less than 10 minutes, so grab a drink, grab your seat. We'll be starting in less than 10 minutes. We'll be starting in less than 5 minutes. Grab your seats. Hold off on your drinking. Less than 5 minutes we'll be starting. John Irwin, grab your seat. We'll be starting in less than 5 minutes.
Good. Hi. Hello, how you doing, John?
Scott Seiler. If you know, we've met before. This is my wife, Darlene. Darlene, how are you? There's 18 members of my board that pick the winner and say thank you so much. We don't take pictures without no. Right up until you don't. Mr. J.
Hi, Tom. How are you? You asked me if the golf club is Yes. I get it. God bless you. We'll make it out.
Yeah, okay, I got a stamp and stuff. Thanks, I appreciate it. Thank you, we're cool. Thanks.
Thank you, and I enjoyed putting that together. That was fun. I love her too. Well, I think Tom did mention it. Well, they do it tastes good.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. If you take your seats, we're ready to get the program underway. It's been a little while because of that little thing called COVID that derailed our face-to-face meetings over the years. But we were able to do many things online. That was very successful. But it's nice to have everyone back here and to see a lot of good supporters, long-time supporters. My name is Tom Wanuski. I work at St. Paul's writing grants a few hours a week, just trying to make sure that the funding for our great services is underway. It's my pleasure to introduce, we're going into our 46th year of operation, and the guy that's been leading it the last several years, and I think doing a fantastic job, will be your guide through tonight's program. So how about a nice welcome for Joe Habib. welcome everyone. Welcome to our event. I see a lot of familiar faces. That makes me very, very happy. And I see a lot of new faces. And that definitely motivates me to move forward. I'm happy to see you all. Welcome again. But before we begin our program, I will ask Pastor Leo Cunningham to give an invocation. Pastor Cunningham, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
There we go. Pastor Leo Cunningham. I am the new group pastor at St. Paul's United Methodist Church. Been there about 14 months. Let's be an attitude of prayer. Lord, by your grace and by your mercy, we rejoice in the fact that we're able to gather around the table this evening. We're asking not only that you bless the food that we will have, but you will bless our hearts, our minds, and our spirits as we continue to find ways to do mission and ministry here in Toledo. We're asking that the conversations that will happen around tables will inspire each and every one of us to find ways to inspire other people to bring hope, love, grace, mercy, and the light of your love to so many people. We offer up this prayer like all prayers in your holy name. And all of God's people say,
Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, Pastor Cunningham. Well, this is our 14th annual event, and it is the first one in person since the pandemic. We are also online as well. You know, for those people who are not familiar, we are online and they can watch us, and we have people from all over the country also watching us. Your presence here with us tonight is not just a testament to your support, it's a beacon of hope and encouragement for everything we do. Over the past few years, we faced unprecedented challenges. But thanks to each and every one of you, we've been able to continue our mission every single day of the year. Without your wavering support, our work would not be possible. You've been a crucial part of our journey, and for that, I'm very thankful. Tonight, we have a special program planned. We hope it will inspire you and it will engage you. We're going to shine a light on the lives that are often unseen. And together, we will celebrate the difference we can make in their lives. But before we dive into the evening's events, I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to our incredible sponsors. Owens, Illinois, thank you for their continuous support. Epworth United Methodist Church, I can't thank you enough, and they're with us here tonight. I can't thank you enough for everything you do. You sponsor our Thanksgiving and Christmas luncheons for the community, and we serve on those days more than 150 to 200 meals. The monthly Saturday lunches, Epworth Furniture Bank, and you've been there with us whenever we need you. Your support with us, your support with your treasure is very valuable all year round. We have Stellantis is one of our supporters, a fine charitable organization that wants to end homelessness. Dana Corporation has been supporting us since God knows I can't remember. We have Doctors Jay and Tina Jindal. They're here with us tonight as well, and I'm proud to call them my friends. They have been volunteering at St. Paul's every Sunday since forever, basically. They do so much, not only for St. Paul's, but for the community as well. Sean and Amy Wilt, it inspires me just to be around them. Such wonderful, pleasant, and positive individuals. Tony Gallagher, thank you, Tony, for all the contributions you made to St. Paul's. Thurbatru has been sponsoring us for years. Area Office on Aging is a new sponsor this year. Knight Insurance is a new sponsor. Bob and Marilyn Town. Basically, every time there is a St. Paul's event, Bob and Marilyn are the first ones to show up. Events like these, golfing, holiday events, volunteering, wherever you need them, they're there. Mary Gambash, her support and words of encouragement to me are truly motivating. St. Paul's United Methodist Church, they have been with us since day one, 48 years ago.
That's more than 16,000 days so far. And the list goes on and on. George Gus's, the Northwest Building Trades Association, IBEW, Rudolph Ridley Group, KeyBank, the Andersons, and so many other individuals and corporate sponsors that I can't possibly name them all. Your generosity has been overwhelming, and words alone cannot express how deeply grateful I am. And we are equally blessed as well to have support from our community partners. We are truly honored to collaborate with the Lucas County Homelessness Board, the Toledo Community Foundation, St. Paul's United Methodist Church again, the Islamic Food Bank, and multiple churches and religious organizations in our community. I would like to especially highlight the vital role of our partnership with the Lucas County Mental Health and Recovery Services Board. Literally, without them, we will close down our doors and go home. United Way, the city of Toledo, we are incredibly fortunate to have them all in our corner. And now, I am delighted to introduce the Board of Trustees, whose support and guidance are crucial to our mission. This dedicated group not only champions our cause, but also provides essential direction and oversight for our agency. We are grateful for their leadership and honored to acknowledge their contribution tonight. I'm just going to name them. President Tony Theros, Vice President Dennis Bayer, our Treasurer, John Cruz, our Secretary, Sharon Merritt, Deb Dickerson, Paul Lewis, Chris Kelly, Mary Mitchell, Georgia Keane, and Judy Wood. Thank you all for your help and your support. If the Board of Trustees provides guidance, I'll tell you, our employees are the heart and soul of our organization. I want to extend a heartfelt gratitude to them. They are the ones dedicating themselves daily to ensuring that our clients find a safe place to call home, whether it's temporary at the shelter or more permanent housing in the community. It is their hard work that drives our success and makes a tangible difference in the lives of those we serve. They are the heroes behind our achievement. We have quite a number of them tonight with us here, and I want to put them on the spot and ask them to stand up so we can recognize them. St. Paul staff, please stand up. Thank you all for all your hard work that you do at St. Paul's. Thank you. There are so many other supporters, donors, religious organizations, and corporations that I would like to acknowledge, but time constraints won't allow me. To everyone who supports St. Paul's and is dedicated to addressing this pressing issue of homelessness, this unacceptable human condition of homelessness, I'm truly grateful and extend a heartfelt thank you to them all. Now, this is tonight we will share with you a lot of good stories. You will get to hear them firsthand from the people who experienced them. And we will be back in about 25 minutes just to hear the stories. But for right now, the buffet is open. Please help yourself to dinner, buffet, and what we have. The cash bar is open. And also in just about a minute, they're going to bring desserts to the back of the room. Coffee is in the back of the room. And enjoy dinner and conversations, and we will be back in about 25 minutes. There's no particular order, just
Who's going to be the brave soul to go first? go with John and help start the line because if we start being shy. Literally only 1 minute.
1 minute.
Like, perfect.
Oh no, I like that. We're all good. I saw it. Let's do it, Julie.
Okay, hide this back here.
I would have said something. I would have said something to him. I would have said something to him. I think the kind of CLC leadership. Yeah, I love him because he's like tech guy. And we're like old school. So like, he helps us a lot, you know what I mean? Because we're not the paperwork or that end of it as much, but it's really good. How old is he now, kid? Yeah, he's got 3 now, and then he's got they have another baby on the way. So we babysit a lot for him. We were babysitting this week and looking at some chat, and then parents came over and asked 3.5-year-old.
Oh my God, looking like that.
have one in ours, and then I know Matt and Danny have one, but I think I can find out for you that something to do with business network. So, you know what I mean? But the two that, yeah, because I mentioned the two nonprofits that helped out a lot. They just put the two together and they got getting a grant. And there's no charge to each chapter or nonprofit. sitting there, and he was kind of on his deathbed, and he was just real great for the guy. And his wife Stacy passed away, and just a week later the guy walked out of there like there's something never happened. It was just like weird stuff like that just kind of came up. Never know how it works. My brother-in-law, and I'm under a broken yeah, shit runs at the end of the year. It's not like garbage pickup all types of business. Chuck would, but I can't dictate his numbers, so. But as far as the economy of the world, no, it's like I look at it like this. Everybody, don't want to be all somebody concerned with to be good and stern or whatever. The other thing is to try to tax everybody on a yearly basis. That means everybody who's not investing, because let's say you make 10%, and then they tax you on the next year, it's 20.
Should I address myself?
Yeah, say hi to everybody.
Ready?
Tilt it down a little bit. Tom, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody. I know you've been waiting for this moment. There are a lot of people watching. We are about to begin again. This is when you get to hear the stories of individuals who experience homelessness, their struggles, and their triumphs. Stay tuned. We're going to be back in about a few minutes. All right, Joe, you ready to go? I'm ready.
If you're not done yet eating, by all means, finish eating, but we like to get our program rolling.
I'm ready to stay watching. He's going to be ready.
Yep. You're going to
A
do
lot of
like
good
a
people
quick
to
intro,
introduce
right,
you
Joe?
to, and a lot of good videos to show. And somebody's going to eliminate the music soon. There's coffee and stuff in the back, but now to carry you forward in the second half of our program, here's Joe Habib again. Thank you. and Tom. This is the second half of the program. And like Tom said, you know, there are going to be cookies, desserts, sweets in the back, and coffee. Please help yourself to whatever you would like. In the meantime, I just want to share with you that I go to work to St. Paul's every day. I go to work. And sometimes I don't see anybody, sometimes I see everybody under the sun. But I am privileged and not privileged, I don't know how to say it, to hear stories. Stories sometimes are inspiring, sometimes they are extremely painful. Sometimes I say, I wish I can share those stories with some people. So I do want to share the stories with you tonight. But I don't want to stand here and tell you the struggles and what people go through. I'm going to let them tell you that story. So in our program tonight, we're going to shine the light on those invisible individuals who are on the streets, who are struggling every day to find a place called home. And we're going to begin by showing you, by introducing you to 3 individuals who went through that painful journey.
What are you doing? I'm like, Mom, I'm beating him. Getting him what he needs. He ended up turning around and being, now he's in the 78th percentile of his height and weight.
He said to me, how are you? And I said, 65. And he said, what in the world are you doing out here at this hour? And he said, don't tell me you're homeless. And I said, yes, I didn't want to talk about that. And he said, it's nothing to be ashamed of. He said, because I'm homeless too.
My name is Bertha Denise Ray. I am currently homeless at this time. I have stage 4 cancer. I'm chronically homeless. I have a drug addiction. I've been on and off the streets for about 30 years. I grew up with my mother selling me from the age of 2 until I was 12. She started receiving crack at 9.
So I lived in Columbus for 3 years, and I was homeless, living out of my car. I didn't consider it homeless, though. I had a car when I was very young.
They don't understand that when a female that's dying, that's out here with cancer and terminal illness, is getting raped, robbed, and still rejected, it's a whole different story.
I was born here in Toledo, Ohio in 1958, July the 8th, 1958, and I was born in Mercy Hospital, so people know me. And they said that my husband owed them money for one rent payment, and they said it was $2,019.
Yes, I'm bipolar, schizoaffective, homicidal, suicidal tendencies, ideations, post-traumatic stress. I've been shot, stabbed, ruined by cars. My mom started that off. She sold me to support her habit.
I had a fire. I didn't set the fire. It wasn't my fault. I certainly felt like I was being punished because of my child being taken. But now sometimes things are out of your control.
coordinated entry. Well, if you're experiencing homelessness, instead of hopping from one shelter to another or making countless phone calls to check bed availability, you simply dial 211. Well, they'll guide you through the process. They receive calls not only for people asking for sheltered beds, but just about questions about every resource needed in the community. Well, and they keep track of which zip code those calls come from. And they publish those statistics online, showing the number of calls they get and the nature of those calls. Well, I was curious. We located at the 43604 zip code, so I decided to dive into the numbers. Well, did you know that from the 43604 zip code, last year they received 10,753 calls. Out of these, 58% were housing and shelter questions. An additional 10% that were related to food questions. 58% housing and shelter. Out of these, 63 calls were shelter alone. Well, at this point, you may say, well, Joey, you were throwing too many statistics on us without any visual cues or anything. Why don't you bottom line it for us? Well, I'll do that just right now. From the 436 zip code, every day, 10 calls are inquiries about shelters. For Lucas County, every day there's 38 calls, 38 inquiries about shelters. 38 calls, and remember, this is not LA, not New York, not San Francisco, it's here in Toledo, here in Lucas County. Now, all of a sudden, what I thought to have been my 2020 vision about homelessness has become shrouded in darkness. Heck, every day there are countless of individuals and families out there who navigate the streets. People you and I possibly know from our personal lives. And speaking of that, people know from our personal lives, I'm going to tell you a story. One time I went to St. Paul's like I usually do, and to my surprise, I saw a very familiar face. Believe it or not, I saw my English 201 college professor from when I was an undergrad student way back then. He was at the shelter. So I started talking to him, and I know he remembered me because he reminded me of a few things that went on in the classroom, and he even reminded me of the grade that I received in that class. Now, believe it or not, the only thing that I was thinking about at that time was what is the person with a PhD in English literature with that good of a memory doing in a shelter? Then he told me about the pressures, his pressures of finishing his doctorate degree, teaching, slipping into depression with psychosis, ending up eating from garbage cans, dumpsters, and his recovery. Now, I was saying earlier that every day countless of individuals and families navigate the streets, just like my college professor. They are overlooked, they are unheard. If we don't see them, if we don't hear them, what do we know about their struggles, about their hopes, and about their dreams? Unfortunately, they have been rejected all their lives. They continue to be rejected, and that drives them more and more into the shadows, deepening their vulnerability. Now, earlier, I ran a bunch of statistics by you, but homelessness is not a statistic. My English professor is not a statistic. The 35 people staying at St. Paul's are not statistics. Neither are the people in other shelters or on the streets. I say it again, homelessness is not a statistic. Homelessness is not a distant issue. It's a deeply personal experience for each individual who faces it. It's a reality marked by uncertainty, isolation, and often profound loneliness. Behind every number,
is a person with a unique story, a person who deserves to be seen, to be heard, and to be valued. Our mission is not merely just to serve 73,000 meals a year to the community. It's not only to house people and to provide showers or laundry facilities. Our mission is to illuminate these invisible lives, to bring their stories to the forefront, and remind ourselves and our community that every person deserves dignity, respect, and a chance for a better future. It is crucial that we recognize and address the systemic issues contributing to homelessness. But equally important is our responsibility to connect on a personal level with all those affected. Tonight, through our program, we will hear stories that challenge us, move us, and inspire us. We will see the faces behind the numbers, and we will gain a deeper understanding of the struggles and triumphs of those living without a stable home. By shining a light on these invisible lives, we can foster empathy and drive meaningful change. We can work together to build a society where everyone has a place to call home and the support they need to thrive. Later on, we will hear from Julie Embry, the Executive Director of the Homelessness Board, who will also shine the light on what our community is doing to collectively accomplish this goal. Your presence, your support, and your commitment to our cause make all the difference. Together, let us continue to illuminate the path toward a future where every individual's life is visible, valued, and celebrated. Now let's hear the rest of their stories.
I have a lot of mutual friends. I ended up staying with them once in a while. There were times I sat on a bench and was like, I guess I'm sleeping here tonight. But we had plenty of people that would be like, well, you can stay for one night. But like they weren't allowed to have people living with them. And I don't want to. I'm 40 years old. I don't want to live with nobody, and I want my own place.
Not everybody out there is out there and thinking about hurting or killing somebody. It's not like that. It's not like the way they portray it in the movies, where everybody's killing everybody or looking for somebody to kill. But it's not like that. It's people out there who have been disadvantaged, somehow been taken advantage of, abused in some way. And it could be physical, emotional, all types of abuse. Their friends aren't available because they don't fit a certain status in life. You know, if you don't have money, people don't want to be around you.
Right now, I'm depending on kindness from strangers because I pass out on the street and people just walk over me. Didn't care if I was alive or dead. A man stopped his car, drove me into his car, and tried to take me to the hospital. I have 4-stage cancer. I'm dying. I didn't want to go because there's nothing they can do.
I've been to school 4 times. This is the 4th time. But this time I'm finishing. I'm going to finish. I'm going to succeed. Now I have a lot more belief in myself.
Give us a job. Take some faith protecting us. Take somebody off the street, I don't care if they smell like, what's that, fertilizer. I don't care if they smell like fertilizer. Take them somewhere where they can shower, give them a new pair of shoes, clothes, give them a reference. That'll help a whole lot. And for those of us that's not mentally capable of working and know nothing but the streets we lost, come check on us and don't find us dead or walk over the rock.
St. Paul's community is always in my heart now because these are people that took me in. You know, you can have a lot of people around you, and if nobody's helping you, I mean, I don't know what to say about that. That's a lack of humanity. And I don't have a lack of humanity. I love people.
I've had God without stability, and I've had stability without God. Well, now I'm getting both. Now it's time for me to get both.
It's my privilege now to introduce Julie Humbly, the Executive Director of Lucas County Homelessness Board. Julie has more than 2 decades experience in social services. Problem-solving barriers for underserved populations has driven much of her professional career. Julie has served in progressive capacities from case manager to administrative leadership. She dedicated 25 years of service to those impacted by HIV and AIDS, much of this with a focus on housing services. Julie has served in multiple community housing leadership positions, serving as member and in executive officer positions with the Toledo Area Alliance to End Homelessness, the chair of the Toledo Lucas County Homelessness Board, Quality and Performance Committee, and TLCHB board member. And it's my pleasure to introduce Julie.
Good evening. Thank you, Joe, for letting me have the privilege of coming to speak tonight. I've been in the community a while. I know many faces here, and I've played many different roles. And I can't tell you, I haven't been in such a precarious place in my life. I'm excited and enthralled with the work that I get to do every day, but it's scary what's coming down the pike, folks. We have had the opportunity over the past year at the board to work on a strategic plan. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears by staff, national consultants that can help us be competitive on a national level for additional funding that's needed, and a lot of leadership individuals in this community. A lot of input was taken to put this plan forth and to figure out how as a community we can come together to best address the issues that are in our community. One of the basic frameworks that we're looking at in doing this is a significant effort to look at the data and tell the story of our community. I always tell everyone, and my staff kind of have a joke about it. I drive them nuts every day. We can always do better, or at least we can do different. And we need to do that in our community. We need to take a look at the data, and we need to take a look at those that aren't accessing services. We have a lot of data of who's sitting in the shelter. We have some data about those that are waiting in the shelter. But there's a lot more out there. There are so many individuals and so many families living in cars, doubled up, many with family and friends, but many with folks they don't even know. Because that's at least a little bit more enticing for the evening than having to spend the night on the street. So when we take a look at this data, we need to look at things like what are the impacting factors for individuals that are experiencing homelessness. And I don't want to be all doom and gloom, but a lot of people have trauma. They have issues. We heard about a lot of these things in the videos and from Joe earlier. We need to provide support services. That is one critical support pillar in our plan, is to collaborate with community partners and make sure that we are making the most of our collaborations and working together to increase the availability of support services, particularly mental health services that are greatly needed by our citizens. We also need to aim to improve the affordability of housing in our area and create new housing that is affordable and safe. We have a very old housing stock in Toledo. There's a lot of lead-based paint, and we have a lot of families that have been adversely affected by this. We probably have a lot of adults that have been adversely affected by this, and it's just not been caught until we get to later generations and see the impact we've had. So data will help us tell the tale. One scary statistic that I've come to know this year, there were more children entering Toledo Public Schools homeless this year than there were Columbus Public Schools. Not a percentage. The sheer number of Toledo homeless children outnumbers Columbus. That to me was scary, it was startling, and it was eye-opening. The number of first-time homeless in our community is over 15%. Nationally, most areas are trending about 20. We don't typically trend with national numbers. So the fact that we continue to creep up and increase and start to catch up with national numbers is starting to increase the concern of many of the community partners, which was a great deal of discussion at a community meeting today. And how we can take this plan to the community to start working on affordable housing, start working on increasing the support services. And how in the world do we do this when there are less and less services, less and less dollars? We have to be more efficient. We have to call on each other, and we have to call on our friends to come to the table and to this fight with us. I was given the privilege 2 weeks ago to officially step into the role of director of the Toledo Lucas County Homelessness Board. It's been very humbling, and I think it was definitely a place I needed to be at in my life, in my journey and understanding some of the things that need to be accomplished. I have the privilege of being Joe's neighbor, of being on the staff's neighbor. We're right across the street. And so I got to move into this office with this very large wall of windows. And I have learned and seen more in the past 2 weeks than I have in years with what goes on outside that window, both day and night. And so it warmed my heart when Joe talked about the theme for this evening, an invisible lives, because you can see what's going on outside. And contributions and donations of time, talent, and treasure to organizations like St. Paul's is crucial. Because it's not just the 35 folks that are sitting under their shelter at night that are needed. St. Paul's addresses and has a reach that is so much broader. There is a community that literally lives outside the shelter because they can't fathom going in. They've experienced trauma. Maybe they've had something stolen. Maybe they just don't like the guy that walked in before them. There's a whole lot of reasons. Maybe they can't take their pet with them. And that's the most important thing in the world. Because that's the akin to a child for that person. So there's a lot of reasons why when you drive by St. Paul's, you still see people outside. It's not just because the beds are full. But there's a community. There's support, and there's people that they know. There are people out there, if you take the time and you talk, and you engage them, they haven't been homeless in years. They just come down to engage the other folks that are, because it's a culture. Because there are basic needs that St. Paul still meets for them that help them to stay housed. Some of the basics that we take for granted, being able to do laundry. I can't tell you that it seems so odd, but I drove by one night, and one guy was so happy he walked out that he was able to plug his phone in to charge it. I mean, the guy was literally jumping up and down on it, or he didn't think it was gonna work. It's the simple things that we take for granted, and some of the small pieces that St. Paul's provides. Folks know that they can go there. They know that they can eat there. We had one gentleman He had some disciplinary procedures and wasn't able to stay there. But he had just come from lunch, and he ate there. And so we talked about that relationship, and how to build that, and how to work on the responsibility, and how he could go about what he needed to do. And he knew what he had lost. He was worried. He was frantic. I don't usually just pick up the phone and call Joe, but I did that day. Yeah. And he wonderfully obliged. And I said, Joe, this guy's just trying to do right. Let's reduce his anxiety so he can get to work and help him figure this out. And lo and behold, I did not know that day. There had been quite a ruckus, a small fire, a whole lot going on. But the team there will stop, and they will work with the folks that are outside. And there's a broad array of folks outside. We come to work every day, and we wonder and we look. There's one gentleman who, to my understanding, has been in that area for decades. Decades, folks. He's a very sweet person when he's capable of talking to you. And sometimes he's not. But we have to often check on him. Because you can't tell under that cover, even though it's 95 degrees and we know he's got a full sweatsuit on, we can't tell if he's okay. But again, he's at least in this little dome, this little circle, this little place of safety that has become known to the folks on the street, that they can be safe and they can go to St. Paul's. So please know, in any way, shape, and form that you support St. Paul's, it's all of those little pieces that create something that's special. And again, it's not just the person who got shelter. We all think of St. Paul's shelter, but there's so much more to St. Paul's. It's all of those little basics. It's the relationship. And it's the fact that people know that they can come back, no matter what they did. Now I feel like I'm in church. But it's true. And that is a special thing. There's a lot of turnover in our field. It's very difficult to keep up with. It's very hard to train new staff. You have some people who've been around for decades, and then you have some very new fresh faces that try to stay in the realm, they just kind of move around. But despite it all, St. Paul's moves through. St. Paul's makes it happen. St. Paul's is part of the continuum of care in many ways. They're integral and at the table in discussions of what we need to do to make change. And whether that's on a day-to-day basis or long-term. They're serving folks for rapid rehousing services to help them learn to be stable within the community. And let me tell you, you better do what you need to do, because Ms. Taylor is going to make sure that you do it. There are some very amazing staff that work, that are underpaid, underappreciated in this work. We're not going to fix all of that. We can't just get out our checkbooks and start giving people a whole lot bigger paychecks. But we can appreciate them for the work that they're doing. So maybe reach out to Joe and see if there's something you can do to treat the staff. Because it's not just the people that we need to serve, but the people that are serving them that need to be taken care of as well. So maybe think of that when you're thinking about how you can contribute. Maybe you can do a few couple extra hours at home to package something nice together for the staff. Staff, earmuffs, you didn't hear any of this. Think of the different ways that you can do those small pieces. I'm sure many people have seen there's a huge community campaign, Love Your Neighbor, the little green signs with the pink heart. Has anybody seen those? We made sure we got one put in the planter outside our office. That's just the motto we're trying to live by. And when we're talking to people at home about homelessness from our offices, we're taking the same perspective. Just take one extra step beyond what you normally would. Instead of just passing the person on the street corner and you don't know if they're homeless or they're a panhandler, it doesn't matter, they still have a need. Can you offer them something to eat? Can you offer them something to drink? Because that's something you can do today. Maybe you can offer your talent and treasure as a professional or with folks that you know to help make change in our community and increase the awareness and the need that we've got to do something to create affordable housing. And we also need additional support services for the people that go in them. You can choose your path. You can choose what you do. That's why you're in this room. I'll ask you to think about that privilege. And how can you use that privilege to make change? You're here. I don't want to undermine that, because that's a huge piece. So thank you for that. But think about the different ways. We all need to think about how do we do different. Not just better, just different in the different things that we do. So thank you for your support of St. Paul's. If you're interested in more long-term or organizational and structural ways that we can make change in the community, I welcome a conversation with anyone. And we have a continuum of care that would love to talk to you. Because it will take a village. As cliche as it is, it's true. It will take all of us to conquer this. And when the shelters are full, today with 147 families waiting to get into shelter, 68 males and 68 females, and those are just the people that are asking to get into shelter. If I was homeless, I don't think I would want to go to a shelter. I have a car, I would definitely try to live in it. So think about how many of those folks are also out there. And so when you see someone and you're not sure, just maybe ask, be kind, and see what you can do to help them. And if they open up and they're kind enough to tell you or share the amazing stories like Joe has collected, it's a gift. And that's a gift that we need to continue to take, and we need to bring here with our privilege to figure out how we can be different in our community, whether that's in business, in our personal life, religious or spiritual lives. Think about what those pieces are, and I challenge you to find something to do different, and identify what that will be sometime this week, because then you've made change. I won't bore you with any more statistics, but I will tell you that the statistics in our community will get worse. It's getting cold, which is reflected on the shelter numbers, and that we have wait lists. It was 90 degrees today, and those were the wait list numbers. So as soon as things get cold, we will have a greater need. So just remember, when you start to put your coats on, maybe reach out to Joe and ask, what can we do to help? It doesn't always mean he needs you to write a check, although I'm sure he'd appreciate it. Again, there's a lot of different ways that you can contribute to your community. Just check in, ask what that is, see what that is. Check in to see how staff can be helped. Is it really that you need hats and hats? Do you need blankets, or do you need something else? Because we make a lot of assumptions. So let's just be real, let's be intentional, and use our privilege to make a difference. Thank you, Joe, for the opportunity to let me pontificate this evening on the state of being on homelessness in Toledo. You're all appreciated, and thank you.
Thank you, Julie. That was very moving. How can I top that now? Indeed, the stories of people experiencing homelessness, you have to hear it firsthand to really appreciate it and understand. Individuals have been on the margins all their lives. They've been in this system, so to speak, since they were children. They've been abused, they've been neglected, they've been promised help in the past, and help was not delivered. They were promised apartments, they were promised and promised and promised, but never materialized. So no wonder they don't trust anymore. Our job really is to make ourselves available to that human condition, and just be open to listen to them, to engage them. This is why I pride myself for having St. Paul's Community Center as an open door kind of agency where everybody's welcome. We want to get their trust first, and then engage them next, and then we can start helping them. So we have come a long way since the time I've been at St. Paul's, but also there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of work to do, and indeed it's a community effort if we are addressing the issue of homelessness here in Toledo. And now with that, I want us to hear the conclusion of the stories.
I am Jen Vansel from Epworth United Methodist Church, and I am the coordinator of outreach and missions. And I just want to thank all of you for being here this evening and supporting St. Paul's. Epworth United Methodist Church has been a longstanding partner and supporter of St. Paul's, as well as other organizations in our community. But St. Paul's especially has a place in our heart. We are very active in serving here on lunches on the first Saturday of the month. We provide a lot of their holiday meals for them here. We do what we can as far as clothing drives, hats and mitten drives. We do what we can to make sure we are providing for the St. Paul's community, even by opening up our furniture ministry when persons here are having the opportunity of becoming housed. So we look forward to celebrating with you all this evening and celebrating St. Paul's and all they are doing in our community on behalf of those who face homelessness. Thank you so much.
There is no option to be hungry whatsoever. There is so many pantries. There are so many churches and places that cook meals for the homeless. The Cherry Street Ministries have a building I think anybody can go to eat. In St. Paul's they have, they feed the community as well. Now St. Paul, they have good food.
If you don't contact places like St. Paul, you know, this is the best. To me, this is the best. And they told me at United Way that they were trying to help me get into St. Paul's. They said, you need to call us. And I called them for 31 days straight. And that's how I got in here, because I wouldn't let up. I just kept calling. You know, there's a lack of people who really care. St. Paul's, the people here, I notice they care about what happens.
I feel like I'm on my way. I mean, I'm in a place, a beautiful place right now, but it's not home yet. I mean, it's my home. It's finally mine, a place that I could decorate myself, a place that I could put together myself. Once I got the furniture from the Epworth Ministry that they signed me up for and got all that home, now it's comfortable. It's a place for me and my son.
I'm supposed to be getting a lump sum of money I hope soon. And I want to open up my own building for the people that y'all done gave up on. And not all of y'all done gave up on us, but a lot of y'all just see us as pieces of litter on the street. People still need shelter. We don't need hospitals and more drugs. We need shelter and a chance to live. Period.
We just heard the stories of 3 individuals. These are stories of struggles, stories of crying for help, stories of resilience, and stories of triumphs. We know by now that our streets are filled with similar stories. Now I stand before you here not as the executive director of St. Paul's Community Center, but as a fellow advocate for a cause close to my heart. And I know it's a cause close to your heart. So I call upon you to make a difference. Many of you, I know many of you sitting here today have made a difference by contributing their treasure and their time, their efforts. Now these stories we heard are very touching, very moving, very inspiring. And if you haven't made a contribution, please consider making a contribution to St. Paul's Community Center tonight. Thank you.
envelopes on your table for crying out loud. We're wrapping up the program, but on your tables then, there are envelopes we sure would love if you grab one, fill it out. You can put a check into that envelope, and there's a box on the way out on the right side. We'll also take credit card, you can input that. But just want to take a couple minutes to thank everybody, thank Joe. You know what is also a great resource while you're filling out that envelope is inside your program, right where the staple is, all those statistics that we talked about. You saw that they are not statistics here, but when you have to compare those numbers and measure the worth of your contribution, I think that's helpful to take a look at. So thank you for coming tonight. Take a moment to fill out the envelope if you wouldn't mind, and if there's any coffee left, help yourself. Thank you, God bless you. We'll see you next year.
Question. If you can't see what's behind all this, how do you know what you know? It's true. Probably the same way you know if that one is chasing a Jeep or a bike.
He's getting away.
Yeah, it is. Or if it takes you places that make you say, you just know. Jeep. See? You get it. And it looks like this. Or you got a couple of these. Okay, another couple. When someone says, of course they do. Could even answer the question. What is the original SUV? That's what we need to ask because we just know what it is. What it is and what it always will be. Because when you're original, it doesn't
Joe,